interesting. This is a new type of project. It's new genre and stuff, new direction. Well, it's of course it's a heist film. That needs not saying much more. But I think it's also going to be an interesting character drama between our 5 main leads with each other and what's going on around them, how they plan the heist and bouncing off each other and actually doing the heist and so forth, and why they're doing it and all the reasons that converge, and eventually how things work out afterwards, which I shall not go into detail about, but suffice to say it is quite interesting. Well, I'd say it's a similar size beast, but what the beast is doing is slightly different. Of course, there's still going to be a ensemble of characters and cast, so it's similar to Bond like that. That was 5 main characters plus a whole bunch of secondary that were almost mains in their own right, especially in the 3rd film. This one we got 5 main leads, and then there's a couple of other notable characters, but these 5 are the ones we're specifically focusing on. So it's similar to Bond in that sense. There's like 5 or 6 mains, although there's less of secondaries trying to get that another place main character status as well. But yeah, it's similar to that, but the differences are going to be more of what's going to be going on with the genre and what the story is going with, and where it's going to be heading off in. The character drama stuff does feel very similar to the Bonding film, specifically 50 Slices, but it's going to be going in a slightly different direction this time around. Well, my favourite is Lydia, who is the main, if you like to pinpoint out of the main 5. Who
main protagonist.
Is the number 1. It is her. Her character and story are very interesting, and we follow those for the majority of the runtime and see how the character develops from where we meet her to where she ends up later down the line. But I think it's a very good character progression over the course of the story. I will admit she is a little bit of a selfish character and doesn't quite, her higher ideals don't always line up with everybody else, but in the end she is still a really great character.
But would you say that she was in what she does with facilitation of the heist, does that make her a little bit less selfish because she is doing it for them as well?
Yeah, she's helping them out. I mean, like in other parts of the story she's a bit selfish, but in the heist then she's prepared to give the others their share plus their client what he wants. So we got Lydia's ex-husband Curtis, who leaves her due to some of the aforementioned selfish reasons Lydia has prior to the events of the heist, and then he eventually ends up with another woman called Florence, who's not quite all she seems, but he's kind of been fed up with what Lydia had been going through. But he's been fed up with some of the stuff that Lydia put him through, that he doesn't want to go through the same stuff again, despite being with someone new. So I'm not going to go into too much details because I think it's important for it to either be discussed later down the line or when the movie comes out. But suffice to say, he doesn't want to repeat what happens there, despite him and Florence getting quite close. Florence, as I mentioned, is not quite who she seems, but I can't go too much into spoileries. Let's just say that she still wants Curtis genuinely, because she is affectionate towards him, because he was helpful towards her, and they do make a strong, legitimate bond. However, her past and what she really does may come to test that later down the line. Hector is a failed nightclub singer / diva working for this guy called Spike. So he's he's considered terrible, basically, by everybody else. So he's
like, a lovable arsehole.
Yeah, he's a lovable arsehole, whilst Leon is a drug dealer / user. And he...
Or ex.
Well, ex. Because we see him being kicked out by his family due to bringing drugs into their home, and eventually leading to his brother being arrested, taking the fall for him. And so he gets kicked out, and so he has to seek redemption, and thus goes religious after meeting a priest, and tries to undergo a journey of self-discovery. Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be revealed over the course of the movie, especially in the last act. And in the end, you're going to be like, well, who the heck do I root for? Who do I most want to succeed? Which one do I like most? Do so and so deserve to get the prize, or does such and such? If you end up sympathising with Leon more, maybe you'll root for him. But if you are more of a Lydia stan, then you'll obviously want her to win. I think so, yeah, because there's going to be some interesting stories with them. We're going to see Spike, the nightclub owner, and how the gang interacts with him and tries to... I am going to do something slightly spoilery, but it might be a bit obvious. He's the one they're robbing, basically. He's the one they're committing to heist in his nightclub for a prize, which is going to be money. So they're going to steal some money from him for a mysterious client, and then split the rest. Some for a client and split the rest. And so basically Spike's the nightclub owner, tough guy, works his staff really hard, not the nicest chap, but, you know, there might be something more to him. As for Basil and Sergi, that is a more... There's a secondary plot line that is a lot more shrouded under wraps.
Because, although Basil has been kind of reintegrated.
Yeah, Basil's popping up now and again, and then Sergi, well, you'll see what Sergi does when he turns up.
Yeah.
I'm not actually sure, because it's been a while since those meetings, actually. I don't actually remember when we actually did those. Must have been earlier this year or late last year, because I actually don't really remember much about them. I don't actually think I contributed too much. Maybe some suggestions on placements of scenes and what's going on and what characters do. But I think most of it has been Ollie's ideas, as well as other Ollie, and also Matt with his character. But I did have a say in what my character is going to do, and also discussed with Ollie S what the two characters, because they're going to play characters well that we'll interact with. So I've also talked with them about what we're going to possibly do, or what we might do. It's got the potential to. It's definitely more character driven this time round as opposed to comedy or action. But it's got the potential to hit as hard, if not harder. But it also depends on the investment of the characters. So we've got to make the characters really investable, like we did with the new characters, 40-50 slices, such as Jinx, for example.
Knick-Knack.
And Knick-Knack and Scaramanga, and Jinx's parents, and basically everybody who was brand new in that film, as opposed to appearing in one of the previous films. And I'm not counting recasts. I mean, literally brand new. I mean, each time you bring in a new character, you have to make them somewhat sympathetic or likable if they're a protagonist, or unlikable but in a good way. Like, you enjoy watching them be bad if they're an antagonist. And I think the script and ideas that we've done for Financial Temptation so far have done that. It's a bit more of a grey area for our main characters, because they're all criminals. In fact, I think the majority of characters in this film, they're kind of in the grey area. There even the ones that look like they're nearer to the white and black areas, are still within those grey boundaries. So we're going to have the nightclub bouncer played DJ Adele, played by
Thomas Metz.
Thomas Metz, Ollie P's uncle, the one who kindly let us borrow the Aston Martin DBS.
I think so.
DBS
yes.
For 50 slices.
Yeah.
That was great. So,
and also, he is a DJ.
And he's a DJ, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
For those scenes. And then we're going to have some, I think, it's just newbies now?
Yes.
Unless someone comes back for a minor role. Like, we haven't cast Leon's mother yet.
Yeah.
First of all, Emma Kent is great as Lydia. I don't think I've seen much of her in the role as Lydia, but from the behind the scenes I can tell, I think she's going to be great in the role. Sadie and John. Oh yeah, I was there for the filming of that, the first scene.
The bin scene.
The bin scene. So, yeah, they were great that day. That was some really great stuff. They worked well. I think they're going to be a great double act, bouncing off each other, and then they're going to come into conflict with Emma, with her character. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that kind of bounces between those three. This is going to be the main interesting focus of the character drama. Leon and Hector have their ones, of course, but I think this is going to be the big focus one, and I think it's going to be pretty spectacular. Yeah, I think we're going to see a bit more harder, darker fight scenes, less comedic, and then more like serious actual fights and chases, and the van scenes as well are going to be pretty interesting and intense. Yeah, it'd be great to have him back. I think he's only having a small role, but yeah, it'd be great to have him in as well. I've interacted with him because I've been helping out the shows as well, and he's very nice. He does some very good stern authority figures, but also some kindly gentlemen, and I think the priest will fall under that latter category. So yeah, he's a new person to the films with the documentary. That was more like fiction, not non-fiction, sorry, real life discussion, and this is going to be his first foray into Pajak Productions fiction stories. So yeah, I think he'll do the role really well because he's a great actor. So, and now he gets the chance to do a film with you. Yeah, I think we could. Yeah, yes, I think we do have the potential. Will we? Possibly. I mean, it's certainly going to be around a similar level, if so
of ambition.
Well, quality. So even if it doesn't top it, it's going to be around the same level. So yeah, I think this, but I do think it has the potential to be even better, despite not being a James Bond film. But yeah, that aside, it's a very interesting and exciting new story and project, whilst retaining some of the previous elements from the past, but moulding it into the new storyline and for the new characters and new direction. Feels great. Always feels great as well.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, was only there for one filming thing so far after the ones we've done. That's been done at the time of this interview recording. It's only been about a month in production anyway. But I've only been there for one night, one evening, and even then not for the whole one due to work. But yeah, it looks pretty good from what I was seeing and the thoroughness of how it was being made, and the just getting through that scene, and yeah, and the actors, that was Sadie and John that day, performing it really brilliantly. So we got a great scene out of that, and some great moments together, and also some fun with Ollie and other Ollie and Emma as well. Also, it was great to go on location in Stortford, because this film has had a couple of great locations so far, and one great stuff about doing these projects is to get to go on some locations, and it was great to go on a spot in Stortford that, whilst probably regularly used, is one of the slightly quieter ones in the town centre. So it was great to do a bit of filming around there without getting in anybody's way. I'm hoping people get out a sense of a great story, some great characters, a fun time, interesting turn of events, good twists and turns, and a very satisfactory, actually a very brilliant movie, and a very satisfying movie, really well put together and very enjoyable for the audience to enjoy, and to enjoy watching the story and the characters. Yeah, actually, to make it, like, if we're hoping it's going to be even better, or at the very least as good as, or almost as good as, like, at worst almost as good, and at best even better. So yes, yeah, hopefully people will say this one is at least just as good, or almost as good, but hopefully, yeah, they will say it's better. You can expect to see me in my Earth Agents project. At time of recording, we have done some filming for the 18th episode, Diamonds for Whoever, which is hopefully going to be released either in November or December 2023, with further episodes in development for later down the line. And I'm also starring in Tom LG's Charming series with Ollie P as well, and there's still some of those left to be released.
Although that's been shot though, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's finished filming wise, at least for us. But I'm not sure if he's finished completely, but they've certainly got to be edited and released. So there's still another couple of those to come out. And I think that might be it for projects wise.
Other than this as well.
Hang on, I'm also going to be taking part in the Pope Zygon Productions special Shedder 3, which I'm going to be taking part in filming later in the week, and that'll be on, I think it's Phoenix Smith's channel, if not the Pope Zygon Productions one. And I'm also a regular, I am also a member of the Universal's channel, so you can go and check that out for short skits and short films, as well as other Doctor Who content. And I think that is about it.
Excellent.
I think that's it for now, although I am aware Matt does want to do his project, so I might be involved there.
Yes. Anyway, well, thank you very much. And, hashtag Team FT.
Yeah, Team FT.
Yes, and we look forward to seeing you and seeing Financial Temptation when it releases. And, yeah, if you could finish up with describing the film in 3 words.
Exciting, intriguing, and bold.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.